Greetings and salutations, comic book conversationalists from all across the Fruita Plain, from border to border, coast to coast, and all points in between. This is Comic Book Hangover. My name is Scott, and we have the first weekly haul of May 2023, and boy, howdy, it's a doozy. And when I say it's a doozy, it's a very small weekly haul. This is it. I actually had another trade that I picked up, and I picked up some other stuff, something else. Sorry, still got this thing in my chest, but so it's probably gonna be a very short video, but let's just get into it and see what happens. All right. So this week I picked up Radiant Black number 24. Very nice, very cool, colorful cover there. I love it. It's awesome. Actually, I don't think I've read issue 23 yet. I've got so many books. I'm so far behind. I need to read 23 and get 24. Around issue 25, I'm thinking I may decide to drop the series again because, you know, it's weird. It's one of those books that when I'm not reading it, I miss it. But when I am reading it, I'm like, really not much happens in this book. It's just all just people walking down the street, talking and having conversations. But you know, it is what it is. I'm gonna give it these two issues in issue 25. Then I'll make that decision. Next up is the first issue of the Spider-Man 2099 Dark Genesis. Not the cover I wanted. I always like to get the covers. This is the one I got. I always like to get the covers that have the traditional trade dress around the sides, since that's how all the 2099 issue ones were originally. But couldn't get it. Not a big deal. It's just a cover. This cover is just as awesome. And as much as I'm honestly burnt out on Carnage and Deadpool and Harley Quinn, I still want to check this out because it's Spider-Man 2099. And I mean, we did have Venom 2099. I don't think we've ever had a Carnage 2099. So this is going to be something new, something different and unique, I'm hoping, and something that's a lot of fun. I also noticed that starting with this issue, they do sort of have a trade dress corner box thing going here that has a legacy number on it now. And I know why they put the legacy number on there, because it says legacy number 93. So they're hoping to be able to have, you know, a Spider-Man 2099 legacy 100 and probably make a big deal out of it. But I mean, the fact of the matter is, I mean, with these legacy numbers, they're cool to have on there. But you know, when you don't have consistent numbering, continuous numbering from 1 to 100, it's not the same. I mean, to me, honestly, it doesn't mean anything. They could just drop that. It's like when they did Action Comics number 1000 and Detective Comics number 1000. They made a big deal out of it, but you know, there's a huge chunk in there because they relaunched them from number 1. So there's a huge chunk in there where, you know, we don't have those numbers if you're collecting the entire run. Those numbers, I can't remember what numbers they were, but they're not there. It goes from, you know, like number, you know, 900 and whatever to number 1000. And it's just, when to me, if it doesn't have that continuous numbering, it just does not have the same feel, the same impact, and the same importance when you hit a milestone. Now, Marvel and DC love to do this nonsense where they have a milestone issue coming up when they figure out their legacy numbering. Unless they, you know, sometimes they'll do like actual legacy numbering, or they'll do the Dan Slott cheat legacy numbering, where, you know, he's counting. He wanted to count books that I can't remember if he did 700 or 800, but one of these Amazing Spider-Man things that he did, he wanted to do the big milestone. So he didn't count just Amazing Spider-Man like we should have. He decided to count the Spider-Man Renew Your Vows series. He put that in there, and he put some other stuff in there so that would boost up the numbers, because, you know, to him it's more important to make history than make the right decisions and do the right thing for the characters. But you know, Marvel and DC, they like to relaunch their books, and as soon as they hit a milestone issue, they want to jump and do that milestone issue. Then they continue the number, then they end the book, start over from number 1 until they hit another milestone issue. So the numberings are all over the place. Marvel and DC, you really got to stop doing it. Either stick with the legacy numbering or drop the legacy numbering and let's just forget the whole thing. I mean, what I would prefer is, you know, we got the numbering like this. I would prefer it if the numbers were reversed. We keep the legacy numbering as your main number, and the smaller numbers are the new volumes or whatever. But that that is what it is. But we got Spider-Man 2099 Dark Genesis #1 and Radiant Black #24. I also picked up, I totally forgot that I ordered this. Thank goodness it's a new month and my credit renewed. I got from Dark Horse Comics, Creepy Archives Volume 1. This collects the first 5 issues of Creepy, which was, I don't want to say it was a competitor, but it's kind of a companion series, sort of, not really a companion series either. It sort of just kind of picked up the legacy and sort of ran with it a little bit further from EC. Because EC books, with their Tales from the Crypt, Vault of Horror, Haunted Fear, Crime Suspense Stories, and all those great books by amazing artists, they ran their course by, the mid-50s. These guys, this series came out in the 60s, I want to say early 60s, but there's Creepy and there was Eerie. And these kind of sort of paid homage to the EC books, even had some of the same creative minds behind it, some of the same artists and some of the same writers. But they, sort of picked up the gauntlet that was dropped because, EC got screwed over, and they ran with it a little bit longer. These were actually originally in magazine form, if I remember right. They were magazine size. But we got the first 5 issues of Creepy magazine, and it looks great. Excuse me. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't really care for these, but I, myself, absolutely and completely and totally adore black and white comics. I love black and white movies, and I love black and white comics. I love the essentials that Marvel used to put out, because you were able to really see the pencil work that these the artists did back in the day, and that to me was a little bit more important than having color in those. And then when I see I get the variant or the facsimile editions, I look through those like, this is really weird in color. But I picked that up, and the last thing I picked up was the Ghost Rider, the Danny Ketch Ghost Rider poster. Of course, this is still rolled up. This is the cover image for the upcoming Danny Ketch Ghost Rider #1. I think it's a 6-issue miniseries that starts, I believe, I want to say this month. Might be next month. I'm not sure, but it's a series that's sort of like the X-Men Legends, the Silver Surfer miniseries that came out recently, and the current running Adam Warlock, the Warlock Rebirth, where it takes place in a specific era. So this takes place in the 90s, during the 90s Ghost Rider run, which is my favorite Ghost Rider run. And they brought in the same the Howard Mackie, who was the creator of the character, and he wrote it throughout most of the run. They got Javier Saltares, I believe, is doing the penciling. The only thing it's missing is Mark Texiera. If they had gotten him and the other 2 guys, the book would have been absolutely perfect. But it's still going to be a lot of fun. I'm very much looking forward to it. I absolutely love that Ghost Rider. So that said, real quick, we're going to do this one here as the comic book cover of the week. Just, I don't know, it just looks really awesome. But that said, hey, I know we just got New Comic Book Day, but this Saturday, first Saturday in May, is going to be Free Comic Book Day, guys and gals out there. And one thing that's really awesome about Free Comic Book Day is, just like the title says, comic book shops all across the country are going to have free comic books available for you to come in and pick up and check out. Now, the books are free for you, but they do cost your LCS money to get. So what I always like to do, and I always like to suggest that other people do as well, when you go in, you can go ahead and pick up whatever the limit is. Some stores have limits, some stores don't. But you can pick up your limit of the books that you want to get for the Free Comic Book Day book, but also look around. Most comic shops are going to have some amazing sales, some amazing deals going on, and this is your chance to check out. Pick up a trade paperback of something that you were kind of curious about. You get it on sale. Why not? Check it out. Grab some back issues. Good luck. I mean, even if you're not looking for anything in particular, flip through the back issue bins and grab some great covers. You don't even have to look at them. I've got books in my collection I picked up just because I like the covers. But check out your local LCS. Find out what kind of deals they're going to have. Find out what their hours are, and go down there. Get yourself some free comic books, but also pick something up. Help them out a little bit. Because like I said, it's free. These books are free for you, and there's only a certain selection of them. You can always tell because they've got that Free Comic Book Day logo right across the top. You can pick up those Free Comic Book Day books, but please, please, please pick up something. Buy something. Pay for something. Pick up a trade or a statue or some game cards, anything. Some bags and boards, a box. pick something up. Help your LCS out, because they're able to do this for you and me because we are willing and able to help them out as well. So it's a symbiotic relationship. Sort of like we're Venom and they're Peter Parker or Eddie Brock or Cletus Cassidy or whatever, whichever symbiote you want and whichever host you want to be. That's kind of that kind of relationship. We're not eating brains, we're collecting comic books. But that said, I hope everybody had a great new comic book day this week, and I'm hoping everybody has an amazing free comic book day on Saturday. And I'm hoping that we'll get some videos, because I want to see some videos of other people. I always love to see what other LCSs do across the country with Free Comic Book Day, and the sort of stuff that they put together, and they the kind of sales. Some places they actually have artists, like big name artists, come in and sign books and do sketches. It's a lot of fun. Actually, when I was out in Portland, Oregon, I got for the former owner of my LCS. He was a big Concrete fan, and when I lived out in Oregon at this one shop that I went to out there, they had Paul Chadwick. So I was able to get a Concrete sketch for the guy who owned my LCS before. He did it to me. He did it for me totally free, and I was so appreciative of it. I told him who it was for, and he was very appreciative of it. So I was able to get that, and he actually had it behind the counter at Nostalgia for a long time. It was great. But that said, again, you go to your LCS, pick up your free comic books, buy something from your LCS, help them, support them. They support us. It's the very least that we can do for them. But that said, everybody I hope you had, a great new comic book day. I'm hoping everybody has a great free comic book day on Saturday. And I'm looking forward to see what everybody has and what everybody does and what everybody gets. Have a great weekend, everybody. See ya.